Alright guys, Jack here at JBF Music and Guitar Lessons. What I've got for you today is another reaction analysis to Relentless Roy Clark and Glorious Glen Campbell. Or give me better nicknames, you guys need to help me out here. If you've got a specific thing you want me to check out, make sure to help patreon.com/JBF Music. On that note, a huge shout out and a massive thank you to the ever amazing Rabbi Rabs, Matt Hortzman, Glenn Kelly, Stephen Williams and Rebecca Hay for the continued support on Patreon. Cheers guys. So I've already done two kind of guitar battle videos of Roy Clark and Glen Campbell, which you can check out with the eye up there. I'll put my first time hearing Roy Clark there if you want to check that out as well. And I don't think there was really, they weren't really battles, were they? There were two guys doing what I would call a duet with clearly mutual respect for each other. I was hoping there might be a bit of one-upmanship, so I could say, oh, this guy won this one and this guy won this one, and this could be the kind of deciding bout. But you know, there's no winner here except us, the audience, which is the corny, cheesy cop-out. It's just true in this case. So this one, it looks like they're coming together as one to play one instrument rather than dual or duet in any sort of way. So specifically what we've got here is Wildflower with Glen Campbell and Roy Clark on one guitar. Two greats, one guitar. What could go wrong? Let's find out.
In fact, I got $12 on it.
So, yeah. Before we get into it properly, I will talk about what's going on. If that's not your bag, this video probably isn't for you. He just seems to just be on any like variety show that'll have him. He just seems to be like constantly on them, which is brilliant. It's the way to keep your kind of legacy alive, is to do all these things and, you know, just get your name out there, really, isn't it? Anyway, a total tangent there.
Now,
thanks a lot.
Actually, Glenn is.
Wow.
I have to keep checking to make sure it's still Glenn. But
that'd be a nasty trick to play on someone, wouldn't it?
We started doing this not because we couldn't afford but one guitar, it's because we tried it this way and liked it. I hope
They've got a lot of charisma to them, these guys. Not afraid to make fun of themselves, which is always just really endearing.
Was that an insult?
No, of course
Okay.
not. I thought, is this tight coat? Ready?
Okay.
2, 3.
Oh wow, okay. Oh, so they're both picking at the same time. Okay, this is yeah. I'm gonna pause this for a second here. There's a lot of difficult stuff going on here. So aside from it being difficult playing guitar, standing behind someone because you can't see what you're doing and you're at an awkward angle, because they're both picking on the same guitar, they have to be incredibly careful not to mute any strings. Now, as guitar players, particularly electric players, we spend a lot of our life making sure things don't ring out. And by this I mean, like, you can accidentally hit a string, or if you hit a note, you can hear other strings are ringing out in sympathy. So I'm just playing the low E string. When I mute it, you can hear there's a... That's the other strings ringing out in kind of sympathetic vibration because they resonate at similar frequencies to this E, okay? So we spend a lot of time making sure this finger's maybe over the top, maybe your thumb is, and using this hand to make sure none of the strings are ringing out, because if you're playing a note, you just want to hear that note. You don't want everything ringing out. So when you're playing like this, you're having to make sure you're muting as little as possible. So you'd be arching your fingers to make sure that you're not choking out strings that need to be played by the chord. And when you're picking, you're going to have to be kind of floating your hand to make sure you're not resting on the bridge at all. Just, you know, to make sure you're not messing up the other player. So essentially what's happening here is we've got, at the moment anyway, Glen Campbell's doing the kind of high twiddly parts, and Roy Clark's doing the lower bit. Now it would actually be easier for them probably to do it the other way around, because you can kind of play chords, you know, kind of blindfolded when you played for a while. It's the twiddly bits that are a bit harder. But it might be a logistics thing if it's harder to get someone behind you, you know, holding down these cards at this end of the neck, so maybe logistically it's just smarter to have them there. Anyway, I needed to explain why not only is it kind of impressive from a visual point of view, there's a lot of practicalities from a technique point of view that could really easily be overlooked. If you didn't do them, it would just sound like a mess. You just have two people hitting the same instrument and no cohesive sound coming out. Okay, so they're both doing chords. Nice. It's also problem solving in terms of working out the arrangement has got to be difficult. Yes, he's doing a solo. You have to be seriously comfortable with an instrument to pull this off. Too many cooks? What's that about too many cooks? Oh, if these guys are the chefs, eh? It's like they're one person. This is wonderful. Oh, that was great. I'm guessing that's the way to finish off a show. Great way to do it. I respect these guys helping each other as well. It's always like a hug and a handshake. It's great. So typically in these videos I'll try and break down some of the concepts or things that are going on and demonstrate them on guitar. If it's a music production thing, bring up a way to do that. But I'm kind of at a loss with this one. I'll give it another watch to see if I can do anything, but I think I'm going to have to admit defeat. Right, so I have figured out something I can talk about here, and it ties into what I was mentioned there with the arrangement. So you need to make sure you're not playing the same strings at the same time. And here, there's a great example of that. So if we listen to what's happening. So you can hear that Roy's down to the C chord. Something to that effect. Let's double check it. Cool, so he's not even playing the full chord. So if you're interested in that space drum, the C major shape, what he's doing is holding the 3rd fret on the A, open string on the D, hammer onto the 2nd, and then open G string. So he's going. And this is a really kind of common diddle, a little fill you can do in kind of folk music. That sort of thing. Now what's happening here with Glen Campbell is he's outlining a C as well, but he's just playing these 2 notes here. So first of all, listen out for this part. I kind of almost tried to put that off to one side, right? So isolate it first. Right? Now you want to listen to what else is going on. We've got this kind of high thing, right? So you got that type of sound. So listen out for that this time. So what's happening there is they're both outlining a C chord. If you know your bar chords, if you think about a C major up here, like it would be 8, 10, 10, 9, 8, 8. What Glen Campbell's doing is just playing these 2 notes on the G, the B and the E strings. So a little bit of muting. Mute, strum it twice, mute, and then strum it once. So you go. Play it a bit slower. So because he's playing on these strings, and Roy's playing on these 3, they're not getting in each other's way. And it means that Glen can play this with this hand really over the top so that he's not anywhere near these strings, he's not going to get in Roy's way. And similarly, Roy can play down here, keep his hands out of the way of the top strings so he's not going to interfere with them. So what I'll do is I'll play one part, I'll play the other part, and I'll try and edit myself together playing them. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so I'm not entirely happy with that breakdown, but I think given the circumstances it's about the best I can do. If you got a specific request, hit me up on Patreon, hit subscribe to keep up to date with the channel, make sure you never miss out on new videos. Talking about videos, you can check out those if you want more stuff, but take it easy guys, and have a good one.